What's up, guys? My name is Sharkhead, and I'm here today to talk about Lawbreakers, what it is exactly, and what really differentiates it from all the other current class-based shooters out there. So, not a lot of people know about this game because it's still very new. Right now, it's in closed beta phase, which means that you can't get into it unless you play the alpha. There are a lot of streamers on Twitch who have streamed this game, and it's pretty good. I have access to it, obviously, as you can see from the footage, and I've played it during last Thursday all the way to this Sunday. So I got quite a bit of experience under my belt. I'm not an expert, I'm not going to claim that, but I have made some great friends along the way, got a great feel for pretty much all the current existing classes that are not under lock and key. I have a lot of things to say about this game. So, first off, what is Lawbreakers? Well, it's a class-based first-person shooter that is very much likened to games like Overwatch and Paladins. Now, I know the term hero shooter is not exactly what Lawbreakers should be identified as technically, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to refer to it as a hero shooter as well. Mainly because each person in Lawbreakers that you play has their own special abilities that are binded to keys like Q, like an ultimate, E, left shift, and they also have unique weapons which you can shoot with the left mouse button and the right mouse button. Very basic stuff that can be attributed to the hero shooter, quote-unquote, subgenre of class-based shooters. Now, here's the big question of the entire video. Everyone should have this on their minds right now. And that question is, what makes Lawbreakers different from every other hero shooter in the subgenre of class-based shooters that is out there? Like Overwatch, Paladins, Dirty Bomb. What separates this game from the rest of the pack? Well, the main thing that separates it is the thematic badassery, edginess, and unapologetic goriness and gratuitous violence that this game has to offer. The man with the vision behind this game is Cliff Bleszinski, or Cliffy B, and he is the guy who is behind games like Gears of War and Unreal Tournament, and he's working with Boss Key Productions to create this game in a way that's very similar to the games that he has created before, but also has elements of hero shooters. And I think this is a really, really good move because not everyone likes the cartoony style of graphics and art that's in Overwatch and Paladins. Not everyone likes the family friendliness of both those two games. Instead, some people, a certain demographic, wants a gorier game, a more mature game that really makes them feel like badasses as they traverse across the maps. And about the environments, about the maps, one of the very unique things about Lawbreakers is the fact that it has zero gravity pockets across specific zones in every single map in the game. And this is something that no other hero shooter has right now. And the fact that they're there means that every single character in the game can utilize these zero gravity pockets to either go faster across the map or slow down and just kind of float high above everyone else and gain an advantage in that way. So this game is definitely focused on verticality more so than any other hero shooter in that subgenre. For real. The Vanguard can fly around with a jetpack, the Assassin can fly around with a grappling hook and control her movement speed depending on what she grapples onto, and the Titan can rocket jump, which is crazy because there are certain people in the older FPS generation that love to rocket jump. This is definitely for those guys. And the list just goes on and on. There's so many different ways that every single class in this game moves. And when they utilize that in synergy with the zero gravity pockets across every single map, it creates a lot of different dynamics on how to move quickly across the map. There's so much depth here that can be explored. And as I've been playing, I realized there's so many other players that are way better than me that already know these things because they've been playing since pre-alpha. You know, they've already understood so many of these different dynamics about how each and every single character and class moves. So for instance, remember what I said about the Assassin class in this game using a grappling hook to get really quickly around the map? Well, there's definitely some people who have used just the Assassin, and so they have like experimented with like every single surface in every single map that's currently out in the game right now that can be hooked onto. And those people know which surfaces get you from one place to another the fastest, because depending on where you hook and what position you're hooking from, you can either go really slow, or you can swing really fast and be like Spider-Man and just act like complete pros. But then you have the newbie who doesn't know all these things, doesn't have that map knowledge, and he'll end up swinging around like Spider-Man on his first day of web slinging and just smacking the buildings and everything and not really know what he's doing. And that's what creates that skill ceiling between someone who just literally started playing the game or someone who actually knows what they're doing. So there's definitely a lot of depth there to be had. And by the way, every single character in this game is not a carbon copy of any other character from any other hero shooter, because they all have very, very unique abilities, very, very unique kits. And if you want to get good at them, you got to put in the hours. There's no way around it. You can't just pick up this game and expect to just adapt to it within like a few minutes, because every single character is difficult in their own way. For example, a few days ago, I played the Gunslinger class, thinking that he would be exactly like Tracer, and I couldn't be any more wrong, because each pistol operates differently. They operate on a different level. The left pistol fires in burst mode, and the right pistol fires in immediate shots mode or charge shots mode, which is insane. And then everything else is different about this character as well. So there's a lot more depth in this game than I originally realized. And furthermore, here's a big one. Here's a big one. The main thing that Lawbreakers characters have over Overwatch or Paladins characters is that they have a lot more potential to kill other characters, regardless of class, than in the other very popular games in the hero shooter genre. Think of Mercy, right, from Overwatch. She has this little tiny pea shooter pistol. Can she kill Roadhog easily within hook range? Hell no. That guy's gonna rip her apart. But in Lawbreakers, the battle medic class is a lot more self-sufficient. He or she, depending on which team you're playing on, because the genders are different sometimes. The battle medic is a lot more able to defend their self because they have a nade launcher for area denial. They're a lot more useful because they can either blow apart people with their nades, or they can just deny areas like zones or like battery zones so that people can't pick up the battery. And it's just so much utility that every single class has that they can take care of themselves. The Battle Medic even has a pistol for medium to close range encounters, which can completely shred apart enemies that are not paying attention and are not dodging. So every single class has the potential to kill each other regardless of what class they are. And that's good, because in games like Overwatch and Paladins, you have to depend on your team to do the damage for you most of the time if you're not a DPS person, or if you're a tank, you have to tank, right? You can do a tremendous amount of damage if you're Zarya or you're Reinhardt, but your main objective is to tank. And I find that's the thing about Lawbreakers. You don't necessarily need a tank. You don't necessarily need a battle medic to be successful in a match. I have seen teams that ran almost completely assassins and did amazing. Not because the assassin is considered overpowered, it actually got pretty balanced lately in this closed beta phase, but the fact that they were so skilled enough to traverse around the map and flank and kill people in a quick, efficient manner means that they're able to use them well. It's mainly about the skill. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some classes that are either overpowered or underpowered. For instance, right now in this phase, the current closed beta phase, the Gunslinger is considered a little bit overpowered because he does shitloads of damage compared to the Vanguard, who is now considered underpowered because she doesn't put out enough to kill a Gunslinger. The Gunslinger can literally float around in zero gravity and pop the Vanguard from miles away without much effort. Meanwhile, the Vanguard has to manage her fuel level, her ammo, and her accuracy, which is way too much all in one go and is not efficient compared to the Gunslinger. So obviously right now there's a bit of a balance issue, but I know that Boss Key Productions has taken note of that and they're going to fix that. So the main idea here is that every single class is supposed to be balanced enough against each other to 1v1 each other on a certain level. For the most part. They're not, if you're going to go into technicalities, yeah, some of them are going to be a little bit more advantageous than others in certain situations, but it really also depends on the map that these classes are being used on. For instance, in Station, I think the map's called Station, the Titan is probably not going to be the best option because there's so many open areas. The Titan excels in close quarter areas where there's not much room to move. The Titan can crisp you up with his crisper, which is this lightning gun that does incredible amounts of damage in a very short amount of time. He can fire a rocket at close range and out DPS you. He has so much health that he can afford to rocket you at point blank range until you're dead. Or he can just pull out his ultimate and basically use lightning hands on everyone. Just go fucking Emperor Palpatine on everyone in sight. That's his ultimate ability, and it has such a long range that within a close proximity, nothing will survive unless you're able to get out of there in time, which you probably won't. And even the Vanguard, like going back to the Vanguard, I know I just said that she was underpowered, but the thing is, in the right situations, she is still extremely powerful. If you're up against enemies that can't aim, guess what? You shine. I have flown around in certain maps where people could not aim at all, could not pick me out of the sky whatsoever, and I rained hell down upon those guys. It was insane. I loved it. Vanguard is one of my favorite classes, and because she's so good, because she's so useful, because she utilizes so much like three-dimensional space, the fact that she can fly around like that and also use zero gravity, she is one of my favorite classes, and I'm really looking forward to Boss Key Productions buffing her and making her a lot more useful versus people like the Gunslinger, so that it will be very convenient and more fun for me to use the classes that I most enjoy using. I mean, there's so much more I could say about this topic. There's so much more. Like, there's so much more I want to say, but the thing is, this video is getting a little long, and I don't want it to drag on for too long, because I know you guys have busy lives. So, one more thing I'm going to address is a lot of people who watch my channel tend to be from a free-to-play crowd, and I understand that. That's what my channel grew up from. So, inevitably, they're going to ask the following question. Is Lawbreakers currently free-to-play? And the answer is no. Lawbreakers is not free-to-play. It's going to be $40 and only $40. You can't complain about $40 because most games of this quality go for a $60 price tag, which is insane. I've never loved the AAA $60 price tag. I think it's a ripoff. I think it's way too much. I think the people who set these $60 price tags, they're just not in touch with reality. They don't realize that people like you and me have lives to live. We have to pay for food, for bills, and all that shenanigans. They don't understand that. So in direct comparison to a $60 price tag, I'd say $40 is especially reasonable, because look at it this way, right? The people behind this game, Boss Key Productions, they worked on this game for months and months at a time, and they're very hard workers. Like, I've seen so much progress from the alpha phase to the current closed beta phase, and just to pay $40, a flat amount for that, and not just, you know, play it for free, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with supporting the people that made the game that I like to play. So I have no issue with that. For people who only play free-to-play games, they don't seem to get that, right? They think everything has to come for free, that they don't have to pay a penny. I get that you don't have money, but if you can, feel free to support the games that you love. Because people have businesses to run, and if people don't pay them, guess what happens? Those games go out the window. Those games shut down because they're not making anything. Games are primarily a business. So if you can support your games, don't antagonize the people who give price tags to their games or make microtransactions for their games. You should support them, but only support them if you see that they're striving very hard to make the game much better than it is now. If they're not doing anything with the game, if they're not making new content, if they're just putting out microtransactions just to get as much milk out of you as possible, if they're just milking its players and not wanting to fix any bugs, don't support that. Don't support that. Support people who care about their games. Support businesses that actively try to make their games better. I think that's something everyone here can get behind. So $40 to me, in terms of value, is nothing compared to the hours and hours of fun that I've had testing this game and the amount of fun that I'll have when this game eventually comes out, because I will be getting this game. I am very excited for its release, and I'm very excited to see how much potential it has as the years go by and its player base grows and blossoms. Hopefully that's what happens. Maybe it's just wishful thinking on my part, but right now I see a lot of potential and I'm willing to invest in that. And I hope you guys are as well. Now, if you have any questions about Lawbreakers that have not been answered yet by either the devs tutorial videos or me by now, leave them in the comment section below and I'll be sure to answer them if I can, and I'll be sure to answer them within the next 24 to 48 hours in a new video, because I feel that'll be important for everyone to know, and I want everyone to get value from the content that I put out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, and really get engaged with the community here. Leave a comment below, talk to people, talk to me, talk to everyone. Let's start a discussion about this game. Let's get engaged. Because I'm not just here to make a random monologue and talk to myself. I'm here to talk with you and share what I've learned with you guys. That's right, I'm calling out all you lurkers. Get in here, say something. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.